Hello everybody.
Hello.
I've got my colourful hat on again. I'm wearing my
hat on.
scratchy jumper. It can only mean one thing. We're here to do some heavy labour up at the woodland. We're splitting into two teams. By two teams I mean me and Jay.
I'm Team Glade.
Team Glade, and I am Team
Bird Box.
Bird Brain, I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
Team Bird Brain. Yes, okay, okay, Team Bird Box. Basically, my job... do you want to go off and do your thing, and I'll explain mine, and then we'll come up and film you in a bit?
Yes.
Okay. Go on, Jay, go and do some work.
Bye-bye.
Go and do some work. My job today is, well, in fact, it's probably going to be for 3 or 4 days, is that barn over there is where we are going to be distributing our power and internet for the Woodland web camera. We've got 2 cameras. We've got a bird box cam and we've got an actual camera that's going to be up in the woodland. There's power in the barn, but there is no internet. So currently, I've got 300 meters of Cat6 internet cable, which this is Kev's office, which unfortunately was flooded recently, so it's looking rather derelict at the moment. But it does have an active internet connection. So we're going to be running Cat6 underneath there, and basically I am going to be digging a trench from here all the way up there over to the barn, where we are going to set up a power over Ethernet injector system, which is all very exciting, and maybe I'll tell you about that later. But for now, we really need to get cracking because there's not a lot of daylight at the moment, which is slightly problematic. So we'll take some of these videos, some of these snippets over the next 3 or 4 days while this next stage of the project develops.
Okay, so while John's doing all of that over there, I've come up to the other end of the woodland to the glade, which Kev has very nicely mown before we arrived. He got up extra early today to mow that neatly, which is very wonderful of him. Thank you very much. So my plan for the day, and probably the next few days, to be honest, it's going to take a little while, I want to try and turn this plain old circle into the web of weird. Now, if you haven't heard us talk about the web of weird before, have a look at the album artwork for A Pocket Full of Acorns, done so wonderfully by John's sister Sarah. You'll see that little hexagonal pattern in the middle of the artwork, which is the web of weird. Now, that's an ancient Norse symbol which incorporates all of their glyphs into one, and it symbolises the past and the present and the future, all being interconnected, which we thought was a really wonderful summing up of the message we're trying to get across with this woodland. And my plan is to get that into this circle. I'm going to have paths, and I'm going to have lots of little flower beds. My plan at the moment is that there's going to be lots of different colours blooming through the year, attracting lots of other bees and butterflies. It could all get munched by the other wildlife and end up being a complete mess, but we're going to give it a go and see what happens. But yeah, so my first port of call here is to basically decide which way I'm going to orientate the web of weird. I was kind of considering true north or compass north, but I was kind of thinking, let's just go what looks best. And I was thinking maybe I will orientate it to face Grandpapa Oak and Grandmama Oak there and see if we can get it looking like that. But I've got my work cut out for me. I've never done anything like it before. I've got no idea what help I'm going to need. I'm just going to crack on and see what happens.
No one could ever argue that the life of a folk musician was boring, or at least this folk musician. So what we're doing at the moment is, this is a Cat6 cable, it's a network cable. It doesn't have an end on it, as you can see, because all of the ends are in here. So what I now need to do is get up a YouTube tutorial on how to crimp the end of a network cable, because this is not something that I have ever done before, which basically is a process by which all of the, and if you can see that there, all of the coloured cables in the end of that need to go into the right connectors on the end of that, and I don't know how to do it, so what's YouTube for?
Right, so one of the key jobs here is to make sure that I found the perfect centre of the circle, which is a little bit difficult when we weren't being particularly careful about planting the trees in a perfect circle. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of an approximation here. Now I think I've found, you'll see my twine attached to a bamboo cane there, that I found the centre. I'm kind of walking around with my twine and I'm in roughly half of them. I'm just outside roughly half of these trees and I'm walking over a couple of them. There doesn't seem to be a particular pattern here in terms of one side of the circle being well within and one well without. It's all a bit of a mess, so I'm gonna have to create my own new perfect circle with which to work in. So yes, I'll get cracking.
Oh man, so complicated. Who would have thought putting a little plastic RJ45 connector on the end of a cable could be this complicated? Well, there you go. I've done one end. Now I need to go and do the other end and then hope it works, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to start again.
Right, that took a bit longer than I thought it was going to, but so this is the plan that I had made with the paths and the flower beds in grey. And you see those little fine lines? That's currently what I've marked out with twine. And hopefully, I do think I've marked this out all right. I've got all of my little paths. They're all intersecting where I want them to. The maths, well, maybe maths is a bit of a strong word for it. It was guided by the science. I kind of got there eventually, I think. We're going to get the drone up in a minute and we're going to see if what I think I've done is actually what I wanted it to look like all along.
Okay, it has taken me a number of hours to get this far, but you'll spot down there, look, there, green flashing lights. That means we have internet. We're in the salubrious confines of the barn here, with many, it's like the room of requirements. There's like an outboard motor here, just in case we, get a lot of rain and need to get up the other end of the field. So what I'm doing is we've got the camera down here. I'm just testing it at the moment. I've managed to pick it up remotely, just checking it on my phone at the moment. I'm going to hook up. It's a bit like mission control here. Got the old laptop down there. So just going to connect that up now and just double check that everything's working, because the last thing you want to do is spend 3 or 4 hours sinking the cable into the ground from here to the other office and then find it doesn't work. That would be rubbish.
Right, so I've got John, roped him in. We've got the drone, there he is, up there. Hopefully you can hear me over him. He's looking down right now. He's going to see if the pattern that I have marked out actually looks as darn good from up there as I think it does from down here. How are we looking, John?
I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. I mean, it's
good.
The string doesn't come out quite as clearly as you'd like, but it looks...
Oh, I'd say that looks fabulous. You can't see it on there. I wouldn't even bother showing you.
I think we can cut away to the drone footage.
That's a good idea.
You can tell I'm the video editor guy.
I think that looks pretty tasty. I'm happy.
It does, looks very good.
Hey!